Hello and welcome to episode 105 of Daryl Show Your Work. All right, so continuing with the overall theme of attacking version specific exploits to protocols. In this episode, I'm going to be exploiting a vulnerability associated with version 3.5.0 of the Samba protocol. All right, so before I give any high level definitions and dive into this, I want to give my usual preface. Want to give my usual disclaimer and preface this video with it by saying this is for ethical research and educational purposes only. Any sort of malicious activity that may directly or indirectly come from someone watching my video, I do not take responsibility for, nor do I condone. All right, so just to give a brief overview of Samba, because I've covered it, I feel like more than once during my videos. What Samba is, it's basically the Linux implementation of SMB and allows Windows systems to access Linux shares and devices, and it runs on ports 445 and also 139 by default. Okay, so the vulnerability that's actually associated with version 3.5.0 of Samba, it makes it vulnerable to remote code execution vulnerabilities, allowing a malicious client to upload a shared library to a writable share and then cause the server to load and execute it. All right, so I'm going to show how that's done in this video here, and also in my last video, I showed this is going to be another one of those exploits that's going to throw me into a shell. But unlike my previous video, I'm going to show how we could gain a Meterpreter session from that entry. Okay, so to start off here, I'm gonna do my usual discovery, and I'm gonna see what my IP address is, and then from there I'm gonna do a ping sweep, just so I could be able to choose my target host. All right, so I'm gonna start off with an ifconfig. So since I am using the Ethernet 1 interface, my IP address is 192, 198, 248.2. So let's copy this. All right, and I'm going to conduct a ping sweep of my local network just to see who's up and running, and from there I should be able to choose my target host. All right, so in fact, I'm gonna just paste that in here. Let's do it shortcut. And then just get rid of the 2 here on the end, turn that into a 0/24, which is my CIDR. All right. All right. So as usual, 1, 2, and 3 are available. 1 being the gateway, 2 being myself, and 3 being our target of choice. All right. So I'm going to jump right into the Metasploit framework and set some things up. And within this, I'm actually going to conduct my nmap scan to conduct my enumeration within the Metasploit framework. Again, the purpose of that is so it could then save the results into the internal Metasploit database, and I could be able to query for that information, or it'll update over time the more enumeration that I do or the more exploitation that I'll do. It'll start to kind of fill in the blanks, and anytime I want to query for specific information, it should then be able to return that to me. All right, so I'm gonna say a service, and then we're gonna start the PostgreSQL database. And we're gonna combine that with the step to then, once the database is up, then to start the Metasploit framework through the msfconsole. All right. All right, so I'm going to start off as usual, and I'm going to create a unique workspace for myself. So I'm just going to name this -A. Let's just name this Samba. Okay, so since that's what I'm dealing with. All right, and then I'm going to set our target IP address as a global parameter so that way I don't have to keep adding that to different modules throughout the video. All right, so we just changed this 2 to a 3. All right, so that should automatically be set up for me anytime I choose a module. All right, so I don't have to keep filling that in. All right, now I'm going to do an nmap scan of the target host. So since we're doing it within the Metasploit framework, I would have to start out with db_nmap. All right, and then I want to do a send scan, a service scan, and then an operating system scan. And we're going to do that against our neighbor at .3. All right. Doesn't appear to return back as fast as in the previous video. In the previous video, when I ran this against our target host looking at port 21 FTP, it came back pretty fast. This came back pretty fast too. All right, so we can see that both those Samba related ports are indeed open, port 139 and port 445. However, we just see a general, as far as version specific, it says it can either be 3.x or 4.x. So it doesn't really give us specifics of what the version is, but it's probably safe to say that that it could be running this specific version since it's somewhere between these two versions. But I'm going to run the exploit anyway, and if it works, then it confirms that that it is this version of this vulnerable version of Samba. All right, now I'm gonna just type in services to show how this is. Then at any time, if I want to query for these results, I could just pull this up. Um, in the Metasploit framework, and it's just going to tell me what services are currently running that it has saved that are currently running. Oh, I had to say services, excuse me. Okay, and we can see those two found ports and their related protocols are given to us. All right, so again, the more enumeration I do, and then I type in whatever the query. If I say hosts, see, then it's going to give me the host. So the more enumeration I do, the more I can query for the specific information. It's going to start to fill in those blanks as far as the information that I enumerated anytime that I requested, hey, for any specific information. All right, so I'm going to search for a Samba related exploit module. All right, so, oops, all right, say search. Hopefully my keyboard, here we go. Search. All right, then we want to say type, and we want to look for an exploit module. All right, and the name, we want anything that has the name Samba in it. All right. All right, it's quite a few. Okay, so let's look for something that has the pipe. I'm looking for something that refers to a pipe name, because that is the exploit that I'm going to use. And there we go, number 12. Okay, exploit Linux Samba is known pipe name. All right, Samba is known pipe name parentheses arbitrary module load. Okay, so that's the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to choose. So I'm going to say use 12 since 12 is the exploit. Excuse me, the module ID. So I'm going to say use 12. All right, so let's see if there's anything else that I need to configure here. Go to show options. So RHOSTS, of course, is already set up for me since I set that as a global parameter. And by default, port 445 is already set in here since this is a SMB related a specific exploit tool. So I could, if I wanted to aim it at a particular folder or particular shared name, I could. But for this example, I'm just going to leave this blank. But this is where you would, if we wanted to aim this at a specific SMB related folder on this remote host or a shared name at the remote host, we would propagate that information here. All right, so I'm just going to jump into exploiting this, and let's see if I can get a reverse shell here. All right, and looks like I have my shell. So just to test out that I'm actually in the target host, I'm gonna do pwd just for it to tell me what directory I'm in. All right, so I'm in the temp directory. All right, so I'm going to background this process. Do Ctrl Z, and I'm gonna tell it yes. All right, and let's just verify that this session is still good and that it didn't kill the session. So I'm gonna say just sessions. All right, good. So we still have our shell session running. All right, and then so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look for another exploit. I'm gonna look for an exploit that's called shell to Meterpreter. That's basically going to turn this shell session into a Meterpreter session. There's a specific module that does that. So I'm gonna search for that. Let me see. To Meterpreter. And there we are. All right. So again, shell to Meterpreter upgrade. All right. So since that is the only one on the list, I'm gonna just say U0 since that is the module ID. All right. So I'm gonna definitely have to do some configuration here. So I'm gonna go to show options. All right. So I have to first set the L host. All right. And if you notice up here, it actually uses multi-handler as part of its process. All right. So just wanted to point that out for you. All right. So I'm gonna say set L host, and I'm going to set that to my IP address. All right, and then see the L port. I'm gonna leave the L port alone. That should be fine. All right. So I'm gonna have to set the session. So remember, we have go back up here. There's another reason I had checked the session here because I wanted to take note of the session ID. So since it's only one session, that session ID should be one. So that's the session ID that I have to give this, so it knows what session that's looking for it, looks for the shell to turn into a Meterpreter session. All right, so I'm gonna say set session no S in this instance. Okay, so set session to 1. All right, so let's run this and let's see what happens. All right, multi-handler is starting. All right, starting the reverse TCP handler. All right, we have a Meterpreter session 2. All right, so I'm gonna go to sessions just to make sure we can see that new Meterpreter session. So I'm gonna say sessions. All right, and we can see right here. All right, we have a Meterpreter session as root. Okay, so I'm gonna just say sessions 2, and bam, we got our Meterpreter session. All right, so just run some quick Meterpreter commands here. Do some enumeration, sysinfo. All right, so you can see that it's running a Debian. Our target host is actually running a Debian Linux operating system 8.11 and running a 64-bit version of that, and we have a 32-bit version of a Meterpreter session going on here. I'm not going to migrate to 64-bit in this video. I've done it several times, but it's pretty much I'm pretty much done here. So it's no reason there's no reason to dive any further um, by by um, by migrating to a 64-bit session on Meterpreter. But if I wanted to do some more digging, I most certainly could do that. And I'm gonna just say get UID to see who we are, and we can see that we are indeed root. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the video here. So essentially what I did was, of course, did our initial discovery and find out what my IP address was, looking for our target host. Once I found our target host, instead of running nmap right away against that target host, I jumped into the Metasploit framework, set everything up in terms of the workspace, setting the target host as a global parameter, and then I conducted my nmap scan inside of the Metasploit framework once again to make sure that that it saves the information that we start to enumerate within its own database. So that way, if I could just type in certain commands to query that the information I'm enumerating, and it'll give that back to me at any time. So I don't have to actually keep running nmap to get that information. I can just query it by using, let's say, if I wanted to get information about the host itself, it will return that to me. If I wanted to know anything about the services or protocols that host is running, I could just simply type services. All right, and then from there, I looked up once I seen that the necessary ports were open. Um, it was vague. Nmap was kind of vague about what version of Samba was running and didn't give me that specific 3.5.0 vulnerability or 3.5.0 usage that I was looking for. It gave me a rough estimate, so I went ahead and I ran the exploit module that's specifically designed for that version. I ran that anyway, and we were able to get a successful shell session. So that verified that it was running that version of Samba. And then once I did that, then to show that how we could gain a Meterpreter session for yet again another exploit that just uses shell, throws us right in the shell. I searched for a shell to Meterpreter module. Okay, then I set the parameters using my IP address and then our currently running session of the shell. And once I ran that, then it turned that shell session into that shell into a new interpreter session, which then I was able to do some more enumeration as interpreter. All right, so please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.